Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Terry. Terry is from North Carolina in the USA. So let's see what Terry has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Terry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview this morning. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm just going to ask you to put a little bit up the camera, just a tiny bit, because, yes, perfect now, perfect.
Cool.
So how's your morning going so far?
It's going pretty good. Just kind of being lazy on a Saturday. You know how that goes.
Are you most of a day or night person?
I'm a little bit of midday. Like my work schedule is 11 to 7, so I kind of sleep in a little bit, but then it takes a bit to get to sleep. So yeah.
So how's 2023 has been treating you so far?
So far, it's been pretty good. I had the last week of December off for work, so that was really nice to be able to kind of like relax and stuff. And I moved in with Gary, so like I've been staying here a lot anyway. So we finished the move and everything. So it's been a busy couple of days for sure.
How about Gary? He's okay?
And he's doing good. He's downstairs watching TV now.
Okay, say hello to him when you can. Okay, say I
I will.
Happy 2023 for him. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Terry, so tell me, where are you from?
So I'm just from just outside of Raleigh originally, anyway. Not too far from here anyway, probably about 30 minutes or so. I went to NC State, so after college moved away and then came back, so kind of back home. So,
but always in North Carolina.
Yes.
I see. And in your opinion, what's the best part of growing up in North Carolina?
The best part would probably be the weather, because it's we have a little bit of winter, like maybe a little bit of snow occasionally, but it's not too bad. It's pretty nice. I mean, it was 70 degrees on New Year's Eve, or New Year's Day, so that's not always happening, but that's pretty cool, especially as a kid, to be able to extra summer days and things like that. So yeah.
I see. And what do you do for a living, Terry?
I work for tech support for an education company. So they publish textbooks for K-12 and for college, and they do the digital version of that, like the online learning and stuff. So I troubleshoot like that piece of the puzzle. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's nice to work from home, and to, like, most of my people that I talk to are students or professors. So it's a pretty cool job.
I see. My God, I like your gay flag in the back.
Thank you.
Amazing. Right, so before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
So probably something interesting about myself. I'm adopted. So I never met my biological father, but I lived with my bio mom for the first couple of years. So being adopted is kind of cool because it gives you a little bit of interesting take on family, so to speak. I believe family's not always necessarily your blood, but who makes it, who's fits in with your life, so to speak.
Oh, wow. So you live with your biological mom, grow up with biological mom, but you never met your dad?
Yeah, for the first 5 years I did, and then I was adopted by adopted parents. So yes, yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any contact with your biological mom?
Mm-mm.
I see. And you always knew, you always been told that you are adopted child?
So I don't remember if I was ever really told or just kind of knew, but basically the way it worked out was my adopted parents were friends with my biological mom they used to work together or whatever. So from the time I was probably 4 or 6 months old, they would keep me on the weekends, and because they couldn't have kids themselves. And so then eventually they just adopted me. I think by the age of 5 is when everything was final. And then it just kind of transitioned. So I don't really remember a lot of things from back then because I was super, super young, but yeah.
Amazing. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Full of random fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Oh, look at you. I love dancing. I can see.
Right.
Before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay, cool.
First question for you is, what motivates you the most in life?
I think what motivates me the most in life is just try to make myself proud. You know what I mean? Like it's real easy to like growing up. It's really easy for me to get hard on myself. You know what I mean? To where like if I like drop a dish and it breaks on the floor or something small like that to really beat myself up. So I've really been working really hard. I'm in therapy and stuff to treat myself better and love myself more. Like you know, like they say you can't really love anybody else, so you love some to love yourself. And it's really, really, really true. So that's kind of where my big goal is, just to keep myself proud, hold myself accountable. And if I can look back on the things that I did and knew that I did it with great intentions, then maybe the result isn't as important as what my intention was.
And you always have this a way or of approaching life, or through the years you kind of learn that?
I definitely had to learn that because a lot of times, like growing up, the way I grew up and stuff, it was kind of always seeing like what I didn't have. You know, I didn't have the brand new car. I didn't have, my parents weren't very rich or anything. So like I always kind of like saw that as far as like kind of this is the care that I want. And then as I got older, realizing that, people that have all the money in the world or people that have every nice car doesn't mean they have a great life, or doesn't mean that behind closed doors they're happy. So really trying to, over time, figuring out what is really important to make someone happy.
All right. Next question. Let's do it.
Cool.
Okay, Terry from North Carolina. Next question for you is, what would be the title of your memoir?
Probably Kid at Heart, because I'm 42 and I still, if you looked around the room, like I've got like wrestling memorabilia, I've got like sports memorabilia, got a bunch of DVDs, video games. Like I'm definitely feel like I'm a kid at heart. I don't feel like my age at all. So I'm definitely, yeah, I've been told before by friends, like if I walk in a room, I light up a room, or I'm always like, oh my God, like super excited, or so. Yeah, definitely Kid at Heart.
Amazing. And I think it's such a gift for us to have this mindset or way of living, because sometimes it sometimes can be a bit tricky when you need to make some like professional decisions, when you need to literally be a grown up person, if you know what I mean. But usually when you take life this way, it's so much easier, isn't it, to somehow approach things that nowadays the world is so serious that when you kind of have this mindset, it makes a big difference. And if, as you said, people around you, they spot that, they like that. Somehow it reminds them that it's okay to be child, it's okay to have this way of living. It makes things easier and more happy as well.
Yeah, it does. Life is so serious. Like it's, we have to work for a living, and most of the time we try to do the best we can to enjoy the job we do, at least in some element. But but the whole point of life is not to work to survive, but is to work just to be able to have food and the necessities, but then just have a life. So yeah.
Good. Next one. Before the next question, tell me, how was growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family?
So that's a great question. So when I came out, at the time, there weren't any real role models on TV, except for like the gay guy that was like the effeminate best friend, or the person dying of AIDS or stuff. So I grew up like right at that verge before it started becoming a little bit more accepted. So like I remember I didn't come out until after my freshman year in college. So my parents, it grew on them a little bit. Initially, they were kind of, taken back, and they were worried about, what was going to happen to me and all that good stuff. But they eventually became, more open. My adopted mom's no longer with us. She passed away in 2009. But my adopted dad, like he's met Gary before. He gives him a hug, tells him he loves him. So like he's definitely more open about it. So.
And when you decide to come out, did something happen, or you just felt like, okay, I'm going to be my true self from now on?
Yeah, so that's a good question too. Like when in high school, I knew I was different. I was bullied as a kid, and I was called the F word and everything else, like for as long, and I didn't even really honestly know what that really meant. I just knew that I was different. And when I got to college and I met friends that were gay, that it wasn't just about like the sex or whatever. It was like going bowling and going to dinner and watching TV and just quote unquote normal things to do, that was when it was like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh wow, this is what I am. This makes sense, and there's nothing to be ashamed of with it. So like it was just, I came out with this big burst of pride. Like at the point I told my parents, I said, look, either you deal with it or you don't. If you can't, that's fine. But you're going to just, this is me. I'm not going to change for anybody. So that was really cool to have that confidence finally after so many years of being turmoil to be proud about it.
Do you think they knew it before you came out?
I think they probably did, but they just, because of like religion and stuff like that, it was something they obviously didn't want to be. It was kind of like the elephant in the room they didn't want to talk about. So, like if there was ever even like a TV show we were watching and they had like a gay couple or anything, they would like immediately turn the channel. So yeah.
It was a sign that they knew it somehow. Yeah. I believe that our parents somehow they know it. You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't want to believe or they don't want to think about it. It's just happened with the neighbors, just happened with the next door family, but never happened to our own family. That's the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what is the worst thing someone can say on a first date?
So the worst thing someone can say, I guess, let me think about it. Probably going too deep. You know what I mean? Like it's important to get to know someone and not know the facade. It's very easy to like try to meet someone and try to put your best image first. Like look the nicest you can, speak, proper, just be the best version. Like keep the conversation, fun and light. But it's good to open up too at the same time, but you also don't want to give them your life story in the first 60 minutes of them knowing you. Cause then they're going to be like, well, what the hell is wrong with this person? Like for real, it's good to have that openness and but there's a point too. So I think the key thing is just keep it balanced with being yourself and giving, correct information and just, and like if there's questions about like, what are your goals in life or things like be honest about that stuff, but definitely peel back the onion like slowly. You don't even have to be completely done the first day.
And the area where you live, it's easy to be gay or it's quite challenging?
It's better. It definitely is better than it used to be. Because with me going to college here, I can see the before and the after from when I was in school and now that I'm back. It's better. It's still not perfect. There's still being in the South. There's still drag shows getting boycott or attended by people trying to boycott them and try to cause issues, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I feel like the general population doesn't care. Like if I hold my partner's hand or down the street or give him a quick kiss in Target or something like that, like I think the general population don't really care anymore. But
all right, next one, let's do it, Terry. Next question for you is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Let's see. So one thing I'm really proud of is I'm not the greatest athlete, but I enjoy getting out there and just having fun and getting some exercise and just being around other people. I'm in a group called Stonewall Sports, which they are a national league in the States that Raleigh has a group, and we have like a bunch of different sports that we play and stuff. And pre-COVID, I was co-captain of like 2 or 3 different teams and just staying active. And then COVID hit and then everything of course stopped. So I'm proud to I've gotten back into it. And I was on a volleyball team last spring that won the championship. And then over the summer, I captained a team of mostly about half and half new people to the sport of playing dodgeball. And I was named captain of the year, which was really a really big shock because I'm not like I'm okay athletically, but I'm definitely more of like the cheerleader and stuff like that. So that was really awesome to be able to get that accolade.
You know what? I even made a note here about dodgeball. I never heard about this sport before. Tell me a little bit about it. I love sports, but when I was looking at your profile, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to ask him that because I never heard of it before. It's something new.
Yeah, so dodgeball. So have you ever seen the movie from it's probably about 10 or 15 years old now called Dodgeball, an underdog story that it's got Vince Vaughn and a couple other like pretty known people that it's a fun game. It's a game that over in the States, like as a kid, I think like 2nd or 3rd grade, they started doing in PE class or something like that. And as a kid, it was the whole classic, like, people picking their teams, and I was the smallest guy, so I was generally one of the last people picked, and so there was some trauma around it. But as an adult, like the cool thing about Stonewall Sports is that like kickball and dodgeball, a lot of these sports that we played in third grade gym class, we're now playing as an adult, and it's just fun. Like it's awesome to see adults out there playing that. It's really cool.
So dodgeball is kind of a mix of them or not?
So it's a mix of what?
Of sports or not? How is it?
Yeah, so basically it's inside of a basket. Most of the time it's inside of a basketball gym, and
Right.
then you start at different sides of the court. And then basically the goal is just there's a certain number of balls, and the goal is to get the other people out. You hit them anywhere from like here down, and if
Wow.
they make contact with the ball, or there's a couple of ways you can get out, then you're out. And it's a lot of fun. It's a fast paced. Yeah, it's the games are about 40 to 45 minutes, and I mean it's go 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 go.
Wow.
It's
It's
fun,
not like
though.
it's not like rugby. No.
Mm-mm.
No, it's totally different. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Ready for another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me what you like the most about your job. And also, there is always a challenging part. What that will be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what I like most about my job is that it's like I've done call center jobs before, both as a manager and as an agent. And sometimes people can be their worst version of themselves over the phone because you don't have to see the person face to face. So they can have a bad day and just take it out on you and just lay into you, which is really not cool. The best part of the job that I work at now is that for the most part, there's not many people like that I talk to. Most of them, again, are students or instructors. So they may be frustrated in some element, but they're at least respectful. They know that you're trying to help. They know that you didn't like it's not you that broke the issue or whatever. So that's pretty cool. So I really enjoyed the fact that the people that I'm talking to don't blame me for their issues. You know what I mean? Because it's really easy to internalize that type of stuff and let that get to you if you have 10 people in a row that are angry at you. Probably the biggest challenge is that there's a lot of different products that we support, a lot of different programs, and I'm really good at technology in some ways, but there's other parts of it that are still way over my head. So the challenge of it, I guess, is a good challenge, is that I literally learn something new every single day, even if it's something small or like a new way to do something. Like I'm learning something every single day because there's a lot to learn. So it's really cool.
And working from home, it's something that started out after the COVID crisis, or you were before already working from home most of the time?
I was actually working from home for about 5 years before COVID. I was a manager for a rental car company here, and I managed a team of agents that were all across the country. So I enjoy working from home. I like the work-life balance. It not everybody can do it successfully, but those that can, I mean, it definitely adds to your balance of, I mean, you're here, like, for example, this is the room that I normally work in, but when I'm not working, I normally don't come in this room very much because this is like my workspace. You know what I mean? It's nice to have a dedicated area, but then when you're not working, like, do your own thing. So.
All right. Next question is, where are you planning to go for your next vacation?
We're going somewhere in Virginia in March, but the vacation I'm super excited about is in August. We're going to go see Pink in DC. I saw Pink many years ago. She's like my absolute favorite. And Gary got us tickets to see her for my birthday. So my birthday was a couple of weeks ago, or mid-December. So we're going in August. So it's pretty cool.
Amazing. Your top 3 favorite songs of Pink?
Effing Perfect, Just Like a Pill, and probably her song Dear Mr. President, just because like when it came out, it's obviously very political, but it was very like passionate, and she doesn't shy away from controversy and stuff. Like, I just love her. She's awesome.
It's amazing. I too love her as well. Amazing. Yeah. Next question, Terry. Let's do it. Next question for you is, define yourself in a season of the year and why?
Probably summer. And I would say why, because and this is going to sound bad, I guess, but because I enjoy wearing as least clothes as possible. Like, I like laying out in the sun, in like board shorts or whatever. I like, running. I like that hot where you can get out, you can do things. Everything, the days are longer, right? So you can get off work and go for a hike. Or I love summertime. Summertime is definitely my jam for sure.
I see. And the summertime there is quite long. Is exactly the time or not? It can be a bit tricky.
Yeah, it can be tricky, but generally speaking, it's the hours get obviously around like August or September. It gets to be about like 6 o'clock when it starts getting dark. But as far as like the warmth and stuff, I mean, it'll go until October and we can have like a 60, 70-degree night. So that's pretty cool. So yeah.
And in your opinion, Terry, about North Carolina, in your opinion, what's the state stands out compared with other states in the U.S.? There is something unique or different or about the country in your opinion? Oh, sorry, about the state in your opinion?
Yeah, I think North Carolina, there's, some bad parts about it, but I think one of the cool things about it is that it has a mix of variety of everything. You've got your cities, like Raleigh and Charlotte, and even like maybe Greensboro, but then you've got your rural areas, like the country areas and stuff like that. But also we have the beach, we have the mountains. Like you can, within a 5 to 6 hour drive, you can get from, water, from ocean to the mountains, which is pretty cool to kind of have a full layout of, different experiences. And there's a bunch of fun things to do around here.
Next one.
Cool.
When I was checking your profile, it says there, somebody said that we have 86,400 seconds of like every single day. So tell me, since 2023 just arrived a few days ago, what has been your favorite 86,400 seconds of a day so far? Those 6 days that we've been into 2023.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think the other day, part of since completing the move, I moved my dogs in here with me too, with his dogs. So now there's 5 dogs in the house, right? So it can be a lot sometimes. But the other day we were sitting in the living room watching something on Netflix, something random, and everybody's sitting down. The dogs are all asleep on the couch and stuff, and we're all kind of hanging out. And I just remember having this thought, like this is it, like we're not like spending a ton of money, we're not going out and buying I don't know, big shopping sprees and stuff, but just sitting here, just relaxing. Like this is the life, what else could we complain about? So that just felt really cool to kind of be and have everybody together, everybody getting along and just enjoying company. Like I definitely, I guess because of my experience in life, like I definitely appreciate things like that, it definitely more so than probably even the average person. So yeah.
Oh my God, you're just saying, I can picture now 5 dogs around with 2 guys just lying down and watching Netflix. It cannot get better than that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like every now and then, it'll be a situation where we're laying in bed and like all 5 of them will cuddle. Like it's not easy because it's a decent sized bed, but it's not easy. But yeah, it's hilarious to see. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
Which one is the oldest and the youngest dog?
My oldest is probably Riley. He's over here sleeping on the couch, or on the bed. He's probably about 13. The youngest is his dog, Axel, who's probably 6 or 7. So like all of mine are older, like over 10 or older. So.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Next question is, describe yourself in 1 positive and 1 negative word.
Positive would probably be enthusiastic. I try a couple different things, but I try to go into everything with an open mind, and I'm not going to be the greatest at everything, but if I can find enjoyment in just like the sports I was talking about, like I'm not the best athlete on the field or on the court, but just having fun and getting on there and, getting exercise, stuff like that. I try to do that. Probably the biggest like downside or biggest like negative word around me is that sometimes I'm super hard on myself still. Like I'm getting better about it, but I can still kind of hold myself to a different standard. Sometimes I forget that I'm not the greatest player out there. And so if I'm super competitive, I'm like, and I make a mistake, I get, I've had to really work hard to not get down on myself and realize, hey, you're not the superstar that the person next to you is. So it's okay to mess up occasionally, so yeah.
When you feel this way, just go to the mirror and go like, Terry, you're doing well. Do like that to yourself. You're going to see a difference.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, which book had a big influence on you?
Which book? Probably it's a book called The Density of Souls. It's by Christopher Rice. He's Anne Rice, the one that's the author that did a bunch of the vampire stories, and her son, and he's gay as well. So I remember like right when I was in college, I found it's when he was putting out the majority of his books, and I want to say that was the first book he put out, and I read it, and it had like a gay love story, but it wasn't like a sex thing. It was just like a typical love story. And that's the first time I'd ever read that in a book. So I think that was probably the biggest. I still have it. That left the biggest mark on me.
You like reading very often?
As a kid, I used to, but then when we had, as I got in high school and we had so much reading in college to do, like it was forced on me that it definitely, I fell out of love with it. I really would love to get back into it. But now in the days of like Netflix and all these other, where we can see it brought to life for us, it's hard to kind of, for me to get back into a book too. So, yeah.
And with 5 dogs jumping around must be difficult as well.
But the problem with me with reading is like, I'll read the book and I'll start at the top of the page. And I'll find myself getting to the bottom of the page, and then I'll like, well, what just happened? Like, what did I read? Like, I completely space out as I'm reading. Like, it's crazy. So yeah,
I'm the same as well. Sometimes the only time of the day I love reading, but the only time I can get myself like, okay, I can read now is when I'm in bed before going to sleep. But after 5 minutes, I'm already sleepy, and I need to go back again next day, like to see where I was, because I get lost in the story, which is.
But that's a good thing too, though, to do that way versus, a lot of folks, like first thing you do when you get up in the morning or when you go to bed is to look at your phone, check Instagram, check Facebook, whatever. And so, there's something to be said about that. But then that can also, it's good to unplug and kind of get into that scene of whatever you're reading. That's pretty cool.
I mean, 5 minutes.
Right.
2 questions left. That's good.
Cool.
But before the next one, a new year starting now. People, they do new resolutions. People think, I think it's a good time of the year. No, even though you don't make new resolution, but somehow you feel like, okay, something fresh, something new is starting now. Tell me something that for you that you want to maybe to do in 2023 that you haven't done in 2022, something that you go like, okay, I'm gonna try to do it, or I'm gonna kind of put myself more, more energy in there if there is something.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think my big goal for myself this year is to just continue getting out more. I felt like pre-COVID, I had this huge group of friends, and I knew almost everybody in town, and I wasn't like super popular or anything as far as like a popularity contest, but I just felt like I was always doing something. And then when COVID hit, and then coming back, it's really been slow to kind of get back into that groove and stuff. So I think the key thing for me is, I've got like a very small, close-knit circle of friends, and I would like to expand that a little bit more. It takes a lot to put of effort and energy, because I'm the type of person that once someone is fake, whether it be what they're saying about their story or just, it just turns me off so bad, even as a friend. So like, it's hard to find good people, like the older we get, I figure that it's not about how many friends we have, but the quality of those friends. So my goal would be to have at least 1 or 2 more really solid friendships, either evolve from what they currently are, or to form new ones in this year. I think that would be great.
And these new best friends come along through this year. What they're gonna expect from Terry?
I think that anyone that gets to know me knows that I'm definitely a good person to have as a friend. I don't put a lot of energy into a lot of things as far as like what everybody else is doing. I don't really care about the gossip and stuff, but the people that I care about, like I will go to the end of the earth for you. I'm like, if someone hurts someone of my friends, I'm like, yeah, let's get them, like it's like not bad, but I definitely take care of my friends, and I check in on them, and I make sure they know I care about them. Because not to be morbid, but life is short. You never know when's going to be your last day. So it's definitely important that the people that you care about know how much you care about them and stuff.
It's so funny, interesting, because if someone hurts us for some reason, we can deal with. But if someone hurts someone close to us, oh my God, we lose everything.
Oh, yeah.
Just blind and just go for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next question for you is, when was the last time that you cried and why?
Oh, It was probably last weekend. We watched, spoiler alert, on like Amazon Prime or whatever. It was that movie that had the guy that played Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, and it's like a gay love story-ish. There's other elements to it as well, and I mean, there's parts about like acceptance and coming out and just like relationships, and just it's a really really good movie. There's a part in it that's kind of sad, and it reminded me of some things that have happened both to me and like my family and stuff. So like I cried during that part. I am a crier in movies, so like if I watched Marley and Me right now, I would bawl. Like that's just me. So I think that was the last time I cried, though, was during a couple scenes of that movie. But most of it was like a heartwarming cry. It wasn't like a devastated, like this sucks kind of cry. So yeah.
Right. Ready for the last one?
Yep.
Last question. Let's do it. Right, but before the last question, as you shared with us the beginning of the interview about being adopted, the adopt child, tell me, for you growing up as an adopt child, knowing the person you are right now, it's something that bothers you at the past, something that challenges you, or it's as a child and now for you didn't make any difference? And also the question is, if you could have changed that in your life, would have changed it or not? You'd keep it?
So I think the biggest change I would make, if any change, would be to find a way to go back in time and talk to myself, especially in middle school and high school, when I was really just not sure myself. I wasn't sure why I felt different, like why I wasn't comfortable in locker rooms and just different things. Like I wish there was a way I could tell myself, or just give myself peace of mind of just being okay with being uncomfortable. It's really hard for me, even as an adult now, to be in a situation where something's uncomfortable. Whether, let's say, I'm riding with someone in the car and they're having an argument with their family or their mom on the phone, like that's an uncomfortable element, right? So it's to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that it's okay, that everything doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be happy and everything. Sometimes you can still get good energy, you can still have good experiences, even if the situation is not very comfortable, and I think that would really have helped me a lot, where I wasn't so hard on myself of why am I different than these people. And I think I would have had a little bit better existence as a kid. I think I wouldn't have been as hard on myself.
I see. All right. Last question for you is, what is something you always want to do, but you're scared of?
I've always wanted to skydive. And it's crazy because I've never really been afraid of heights, but I guess just as I get older, I'm wanting to do more like challenging things like that. But I would love to skydive and just see the views and everything and just experience that. From the people that I know that have done it, they said that it's amazing. So scary as hell, but amazing. So I definitely want to do that.
Do you think it's going to take too long for you to do it or not?
Well, I'd probably have to do it by myself because none of my friends, all my friends are afraid of heights. So I don't know why I chose that, but yeah, I might have to go by myself and have somebody else hold the camera or something. I don't know, but we'll see.
Amazing. It's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Big thinking. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Love.
Needed.
Family.
Friends.
Money.
Evil.
Sex.
Needed.
Life.
I'm going to cheat for a second and say what you make it.
Politics.
Divisive.
One word for religion.
Belief.
Fear.
Conquerable.
Friendship.
Integral.
Desire.
Evolving.
Regrets.
Wasted.
Wish.
Hope.
Happiness.
Goal.
One word for North Carolina.
Evolving.
And the last one now, USA, one word.
Hopeful.
Okay. Let's see that I'm gonna meet Gary now for a coffee, and I'm going to ask Gary, tell me the most beautiful thing about Terry, and tell me something that he still needs to work on to improve on. What Gary would say.
I think the great thing would be light up a room. Like I tend to go into everything trying to be excited, or I wake up and just and try to usually have a good energy and try to, like, let's see what do we want to do today kind of thing. So I think that would be a positive. The thing to work on would probably be to continue to be comfortable with not being continue to be comfortable with uncomfortable situations, and just realize that things that have happened in the past don't always repeat themselves. You know what I mean? Like, even if a situation is similar, that doesn't mean it's going to end up like it did before. So to not have that kind of like shell shock or that anxiety around that's definitely something to continue to work on.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I think sometimes when those situations come up again, I know it's difficult and hard, but sometimes you go like, you know what, let's see how it's going to go in a different direction, can have a different reaction, and you can get surprised, isn't it?
It's like even watching like TV or something on Netflix. Like I catch myself all the time trying to figure out like so that's who the killer is, or that's who really? Which is fun, but like I really want to get to a point where I can just sit and enjoy something and not try to figure it out. Like that would be kind of cool. So,
do you see some improvement regarding that?
Yeah, I think so. I've definitely gotten better. It's work. Like therapy is definitely work too. Like it is hard work, and sometimes it gets kind of tiring, but it's definitely a good benefit.
Easy. Let's play now Terry and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
So what would be the best piece of advice that you've ever given, or that you've ever given or received?
Okay, so I think I'm gonna tell you both. Okay, I have received, I'm never gonna forget. I remember as a 19 years boy, arrived in Portugal from Brazil with no friends, no family. I didn't know anyone. And I remember I was working in a restaurant at the time, and most of my work colleagues, they were like older than me. They could be my dads. And I was the youngest one. And I think I was so lucky because they kind of adopted me somehow. And I remember one day, it was like less than a month that I was in Portugal. And I was there like in the corner before I started working. And this loved colleague, he came up to me and said, did you leave a girlfriend back in Brazil? I was like, no, why? And he was like, because I can see you are here sad, melancholic. And he said to me, William, I'm going to tell you something now. Brazil is going to be there always for you. Brazil is not going to run away. You can give a try. You just arrived, you are very young, but give a try. If it doesn't work out, Brazil is going to be there waiting for you. Your family's there, they're going to be there. Guess what, Terry? I needed to hear that, because for me it was very comforting. And at the same time as well, I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Give a try. You never know what's gonna happen. And your safe place could be your country or your family or your partner somewhere around. They're gonna be there for you. So give a try. So when I look back, I was like, oh my God, I needed so much to hear that at the time, because I just, that's maybe one of the reasons that I didn't give up, because I didn't have support, like mentally support, because I was so young, and it was so powerful to have this little conversation. And I think he had no idea how much meant to me, and how I still remember that. Okay, the advice that I have given, that people around me and friends, they always kind of spot that. I always say, be your truly self, even though if you cannot for some reason, if it's difficult for some reason. I know sometimes it's not easy to be your truly self all the time, but at least try, because the right people will come and the wrong people will go away, and that's how things work. But be yourself, or try to be the most that you can, because that's the biggest tool that you can have. It's being yourself, and it opens a lot of doors, and people just appreciate that, and people like that, and they're gonna like you because they can see that you are trying or being yourself. So that's one of the advice I always tell my friends, for sure.
That's awesome. Those are both awesome. I bet the first person, the one that told you like when you were working at the restaurant, I bet he didn't never even think about it. He may not have even thought about that conversation. But it's amazing how those type of conversations can impact someone to where we're thinking 20, 30, 40 years later. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And so interesting because I started doing interviews in Portuguese as well as my mother language. And I invited one of my teachers when I was a teenager. And I invited her and we did the interview and I told her because she was very protective and she didn't know because I remember I love the sports, and I remember playing volleyball. And of course, the guys, they want to play soccer, and I just want to play volleyball and they were picking on me because of that. And she was like, no, William can come. And I loved it. And I told her that during the interview, I said, you have no idea how much I felt so safe knowing that you were there. And she was like, almost started crying. Said, oh my God, I had no idea about that. I said, yes. And I felt so safe knowing that you were there. So those things in life that people sometimes, they don't know, they don't understand, but it can give a big impact in other people's lives for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Terry, did you enjoy the interview?
I did. It was very fun.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks as well. It's funny because when I saw you on social media and realized that you were Gary's partner, and also I was checking your profile today and I could see you having a coffee with Adam as well, who participated in the Magic Box.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, the Magic Box, the community is growing, and people are, it's amazing. I didn't know that. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing to see that. It's amazing. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and the fun thing is they both actually were on my dodgeball team. The one from the summer I told you that I captained, they were both on my team. So that was pretty cool.
Oh my God, such lovely guys. And I remember having the interview with Gary, and I remember with Adam as well. Oh my God, Adam is so open-minded, so young and very open-minded. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Yeah, so I think that I'm going to steal a quote from probably one of my favorite people I've ever met. When I was a kid, I met Jim Valvano like right before he died. I was probably like 6 or 5 or something like that. But he had a quote in one of his famous speeches that said something, basically said that in a day, you want to make sure that you get a chance to laugh, you get a chance to love, and you get a chance to like think and just kind of think about the day. And if you can end, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but if you can end the day and you've had a day like that, whether it be all the good or the bad that came along with it, and that's a successful day for sure.
Wow, amazing. Thanks so much, regards to Gary, and we keep in touch, okay? Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye, Terry.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.